Hello everyone, this is Deepak Parik. Today I am here to talk to you about something which is very important, the Commodity Week World. I chair this virtual event, which is one of the largest virtual event on agriculture commodities in the globe. I also happen to be the founder of Honeybee and Know Your Commodity, two companies which work on intersection of agriculture, technology, and economics. Now let me delve a little bit into what the Commodity Week World is all about. The idea is that we know the current geopolitical and geoeconomical situation are going to impact agriculture and food systems substantially. And this is the time when we need to not just look at one economy or one commodity, we need to look holistically the food systems as well as different regions of the world. Commodity Week World will cover three key regions: Asia Pacific, Europe, Middle East and Africa, and Americas, that is North and South America. Starting from 1st of June till 6th of June, we will be covering six key commodity groups, starting with maize on 1st of June, moving to wheat on 2nd of June. 3rd June, we'll talk about rice. 4th June, we'll talk about edible oil and oilseed. 5th June, we'll talk about pulses. And 6th June, last but not the least, sugar and ethanol. We would be having close to 100 plus global speakers in total 18 sessions across 6 days. Now let me delve a little bit in the context. Today's world is nothing but a collaboration of conflict and climate. We are already seeing, unlike in the past, there are two big conflicts happening: East Europe and West Asia. These are the regions which produce substantial amount of energy for the world. They are also regions which also produce a very key input for agriculture, that is fertilizers. And we are already seeing that not just the prices, but the supply is also a big constraint. The negative drawal of energy, that is gas and oil, is one of the highest ever seen once the recording of the typical number started. We have already seen that the substantial increase in prices of fertilizer, whether we talk about nitrogen-based urea, or whether we talk about ammonia, sulfur, which is required extensively for DAP and single SSP. So from phosphate to sulfur to nitrogen and to a certain extent potash as well, we are seeing challenges. The conflict is leading to a problem of also energy required for agriculture. We are seeing what's happening in Australia. We are seeing what's happening in the US, where the diesel prices have increased multifold. The second challenge is the climate. Unlike again in the past, where you have regional disturbances, this year we are seeing substantial drought-like situation in North America. We are seeing challenges of frost as well as low precipitation in Europe. We are also seeing a very high probability of world's strongest El Nino happening in down south, that is South Asia, as well as it will also impact Africa. South Asia, lower rainfall, and Africa, specifically East Africa, substantially high rainfall. Both are very disturbing when it comes to agriculture and food systems. Let me delve into each commodities. So as I said, 1st June, maize. Maize is an interesting crop because it sits on the intersection of food, feed, and fuel. We are going to see that the production in both North and South America will not be able to record as high as it was in last year. The challenge is already there, whether it's safrina or whether it is high price of fertilizers and the weather vulnerability of North America. We see a dip when it comes to corn crop for sure. India, which produced a record 43 million metric tons of corn and which leads to substantial corn being diverted to fuel or ethanol, will also see a challenge because the farmer didn't get the right price. And then we are having El Nino, which would also ensure that farmer might switch towards beans, oil seeds, and pulses rather than continuing with maize. Europe is no different. We are going to see challenges already happening in Black Sea region, and we might see that the productivity and the production and the acreage might not be as high as it was in past year. So maize, definitely we are looking at interesting economics developing there. We'll be touching on 2nd June, wheat. Wheat is geopolitically one of the very important commodity. We saw that India had a record harvest, but unfortunately, the quality was not that good because of the heat waves. While this year itself, we are seeing that because of El Nino, we might have low moisture and India might not end up producing a substantial 110 million plus of crop, which it produced last year. 2024 and 2025 was always about glut of wheat production. This year, after multiple, I would say, years, we will find that the consumption of wheat would be higher than its production. Wheat is also having severe issues when it comes to America, that's USA. We are seeing drought-like situation in substantial part of wheat growing areas in the USA. Similarly, when we talk about China, we are seeing challenges there as well, and the Black Sea as well. There is a delay in sowing of wheat crop in Russia as well. So wheat, another interesting area where we see that going forward, there are going to be challenges. The third important crop, the rice, while it is predominantly global south crop, impacting Asia and Africa, but definitely it is consumed also in the northern hemisphere. Coming to rice in Asia, you find that the price has gone down substantially because of exceptional amount of rice available in India. The situation doesn't change much, but the production will. El Nino will not just impact India, it will impact Vietnam, it will impact Indonesia, it will impact Philippines, and for sure China as well. Now that leads to what? That leads to where we might not have the shortage of rice, but we will see that there will definitely be supply side constraint, and reduced productivity of rice means there could be improvement in the price. I think that's a good news. India has been suffering where actually like 325 US dollars is the FOB in India, which is not a great price when it comes to Indian farmers. So rice, we see a little bit of positive side where actually shorter crop might lead to a better economics. Fourth, now this is, I would say, the villain of the commodities when it comes to consumers, oilseeds and edible oil. Edible oil has been on boil. It has been a concern for countries across the globe which are looking at inflation very closely. We are seeing the prices of soybean shooting up, and hence we are also seeing the price, whether it is of sunflower oil, soybean oil, and the palm oil, reaching the previous highs. While there has been cooling off of late because of reduction in purchase from a large importer like India, but the challenge is on the table. We are also seeing that countries like Malaysia and Indonesia coming with new biofuel mandate, and even the US, which are trying to convert a lot of soybean oil to diesel. That is constraining the availability of edible oil, whether it's palm or soybean oil, for the consumer as a food. We are also seeing some of the countries taking extreme steps, like for Indonesia, which wants to nationalize the export of crude palm oil. So rule books are changing, and that makes edible oil and oilseeds another interesting commodity to delve into. Coming to pulses. Now that's an interesting area because pulses predominantly, you will find that India is the center of global pulses economics. A country which produces close to 30%, consume close to 20 to 28%, and also import a substantial amount, more than 30% of its own requirements. And this is where we see that the large powerhouses of production, whether it is Russia, whether it is Australia or Canada, they might relook at their acreages. We are already seeing intentions from Australian farmers that they are not going to keen to have higher acreage of desi chickpeas, which India consumes a lot. India will rely a lot on East Africa, where actually is one of the commodity where East Africa plays a very important role as a supplier rather than an importer. All the way from Sudan down till Tanzania, we'll find that production of pulses should improve. This might put some pressure on the prices, but overall, if you see that the prices of pulses looks like to strengthen because India, which is again, as I said, is a large producer, because of El Nino, might have a serious issues on productivity, especially when it comes to pigeon pea, black mape, or even desi chana or desi chickpea, which is a rabi crop, is going to be sown in November. So pulses, another interesting area. And last not least, as I said, sugar and ethanol. India has banned the export of sugar. That was a shocker just before this event, and we would see that India has exported close to 0.7 million metric ton, with the intention was to export more than 2 million metric ton. But after this ban, now the Brazil is having free play, and they are the only player who would be supplying sugar across the world. But Brazil also, they are looking internally, and they want to see whether parity is for ethanol or to convert that in sugar. Another interesting crop to talk about, and we see that global economics, whether it is of energy as well as of sweetening your food, that is sugar, will depend a lot on how Brazil plays the game. So looking forward to have an interesting session. I thought let me update you how interesting the commodity week world 2026 is gonna be because of all the issues which are going across the world related to, if not directly, indirectly to food and agriculture. Your plate is gonna become cheaper or dearer, only time will tell. As of now, it looks like things are pretty volatile. And CWW 2026 will give you a perspective. So if you are a trader, a policymaker, an ecosystem player, a technology provider, a CEO, an agribusiness leader, log in, join us, and I'm pretty sure the content will amaze you. We are having some of the best speakers in the world talking about the regional aspect, the global aspect, as well as the intersection of both. Looking forward to see you again pretty soon in the curtain raiser for CWW 2026, as well as the main event starting from 1st of June. Join me. Thank you.